Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, YouTube proudly brings to you the grand champion of the world, your boy, Shinfits. And today we're doing Watch Party Wednesday. So I want to watch, well, I put up a poll, and in that poll it looks like most people said Defenders of the Realm. So Defenders of the Realm it is. Probably going to watch 1 or 2 episodes of that. But before we even get to that, there's a couple of things that I do want to address. I want to watch and kind of go over. But before we do, Support Gaming. What's going on, Support? And of course, we have the Emperor himself, Shao Kahn, in the chat. What's going on, Shao? What I want to watch is a video. It's a pretty old video. It's by Brust Poet, and it's him recapping what John Tobias originally had in mind for Mortal Kombat 5, what would become Deadly Alliance. I want to watch that and kind of discuss where that would have went, how you guys think it would have done. Watching Shang Tsung will please me. I think Shang Tsung is in Defenders of the Realm, but I think you might be confusing Defenders of the Realm for something else. Either way, to do the watch party, because it can't be done on YouTube, I'm going to drop the link on where we're going to go to watch that. But before we do, my empire thrives, mortal. But before we do, let's take a look at what John Tobias had in mind for the 5th Mortal Kombat game. Hang on a second here. Okay, here we go. Let me make sure we got audio going. Okay, we're gonna go through this and pause as we go. But let's start with a Shang Tsung failed to kill me. I laugh at his failure. I'm sure you do, Shao. I'm sure you do. Okay, here we go. Your boy Reiko coming to the throne to put on the helmet.
Feels great to make another video, am I right? I know it's been a while, but the first small thing that I'd like to add in here is to stay tuned at the end of the video for an important announcement. So anyways, let's get straight into it. The co-creator of Mortal Kombat, John Tobias, is responsible for the story that we all know from the first 4 games, including Mortal Kombat Mythology's Sub-Zero.
Hold on, Reiko, a cheap reject. Well, actually, we're going to find out something about that in this video, because not really as cheap a reject as you may think. I'm not posting no more Sonya vids till them likes up. Oh, wait, what? Until people like the video more? Is that what you mean, Support? And trust me, I know how it feels to work hard on a video and then almost no one watches it. It's part of the game, but it is annoying. Get off my throne, Reiko. Okay, so actually, that I'm glad you mentioned that. Let's skip ahead just a little bit. And let us get to where he was what he wanted to do for Mortal Kombat 5. Here we go.
On the Mortal Kombat vs. DC comic. But what if I told you that John Tobias has an entire screenplay of what his original Mortal Kombat 5 would have been had he not left the series? As we know, the last mainstream game that he worked on was Mortal Kombat 4, and the game that came after that was Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, which was picked up by new writers. We have known for a while that John Tobias actually did have plans for what to do with the story after MK4, when he talked about it on the On the Blast show with James MK back in 2012. There, he revealed that he actually planned to do what eventually MKX did, and that was the concept of the next generation of fighters. And yes, that did mean kids. He never went into the specifics as to whose kid or whose kids would be included, but the same idea that MKX picked up was what he wanted to do.
So that's a pretty cool revelation. The fact that he was going to essentially do what MKX did, but kind of failed to do. They by introducing the new generation, and it always felt like to me they were going to pass the torch to the next generation in Mortal Kombat X. But then in Mortal Kombat 11, they just completely went back to the old generation. So, I mean, a lot of people do not like the Combat Kids. I don't know why. I actually like the Combat Kids, but they were not received well. Support says, yeah, 3 likes is not gonna cut it. I hear you, man. But sometimes you have to take that as maybe it's time to change something up. Like maybe your what's the word I'm looking for here? Maybe the format of your videos, maybe you need to play around with that. Maybe the topic of your videos, maybe you need to play around with that. Take it as a, not a reason to stop posting, but a reason to maybe change your post. Shao Kahn says, you dare wear my helmet, Reiko, you weird garbage. Lucas, what is going on, Lucas? To hell with your... yeah, Shao Kahn, which is another reason MK11 sucks, mortal. Anyway, let's continue going on. There's going to be, if I remember correctly, what his idea was, Shao Kahn, you may like or extremely hate what John Tobias had in mind for this game. Support says, here's a problem. Nobody is telling me anything, if it's bad or not. So sometimes it's not that it's bad. Sometimes it's okay. I don't know why I can't spit this out. Sometimes it's not that the video is bad. It's just that it's not great. And if it's not bad, they're not going to say, well, this is just okay, but it's not what I'm looking for. Almost no one will say that on your videos. You just have to take the time to experiment. Okay, this video only got 3 likes and it didn't get the views that I wanted. So maybe you just change the title and the thumbnail of that video and see if that helps. Or you just try something new on the next video and see if that gains more traction. And then you can kind of go from there. You have to go based on the results and not necessarily just a review of your videos. But anyway, with that being said, let's keep going and see where John wanted to go with this game.
He always thought the idea of moving on and going forward was the better approach than to go back and explain things that were already established in the story. And for a while, that's all we really knew about what he would have done after MK4. That wasn't until just days ago at the time of recording this video where John Tobias was on a podcast called Mortal Podcast and went into greater detail as to where he was going to take the story after MK4, which would have been his Mortal Kombat 5. Tobias revealed in the podcast that he wrote this story in screenplay format for a potential movie sequel, but that it was basically the same story he would have done for the games. So here's the main pitch of Tobias's Mortal Kombat 5.
Okay, here we go. This is a pretty cool. If I remember correctly, this is a pretty cool pitch. So let's just go into this. Let's get rid of this meta. Let's get rid of this dog commercial. Best dog food. All right, here we go.
Mortal Kombat 5. Liu Kang is dead and goes unexplained as to why he is. And the main character of the story is the son of Liu Kang and Kitana and doesn't know how or why Liu Kang died. And over the course of the story,
So
I
right
know it's
there,
been a while.
Oh shoot. Okay, I apologize, you guys. So right there, just the idea of having the son of Liu Kang and Kitana be the main character, I think it's pretty cool. I think I would like to see that. What do you guys think of that character being a main character of a game? Liu Kang's offspring, which is another reason why I'm. Oh, okay, okay. Don't assume, mortal. My decision will determine its fate. I know. That's why I said you're either gonna love it or hate it. That's your decision. It takes time. Keep making content and improving. Eventually, one of your videos will catch on. Stay consistent. Exactly. And don't be afraid to try new things. Mortals, be sure to watch my deception run. Even that, where it's just you playing deception. I've seen some of your videos, and maybe, I would like to see, because personally, I like the personality of the YouTuber. So maybe it's you playing deception, but also talking about aspects of the game, or talking about how you like Shao Kahn, or why you like this version of Shao Kahn as opposed to other versions of Shao Kahn. Giving your opinion. I think that kind of stuff is really what people like when it comes to YouTube videos. And Mortals is YouTube Premium beyond you. Oh, I don't know why I never got YouTube Premium. I really should, for the amount of YouTube I watch. Support says, so Liu Kang was always meant to die. It looks like it. As far as John Tobias goes, Liu Kang was going to die, and then it was going to pass on to the next generation. Shao Kahn, I had an interest in plot involving Liu Kang dying by my hand and Kitana being pregnant with his child, which is kind of what happens here. I mean, we don't know how he dies, and they never really go into it, but anyway, let's continue.
The story, he learns the history of his father and what it means to him as a person. And the main theme that John Tobias wanted to convey in this story is being born into something that you are not prepared for, in the difficulties of having to grow up at a fast rate. As we follow the son of Liu Kang through the story, we find out why the history of his father and where he was from was not exposed to him early on in age. And the idea is that he was protected from his past, and he's discovering who he is and how he fits into this world of Mortal Kombat. In the story, Sonya and Jax would have returned, but of course being much older. Along with getting back into the action, they actually were going to be mentor figures for the child of Liu Kang. One of the ways that he would have learned about his father is through Sonya and Jax, and also other original characters who knew him before he was born.
I think this is a cool way to use characters like this too. Characters that don't really have a huge major part of the story, like Jax or Sonya isn't gonna be beating the main villain or anything like that in a story. So, and since they've been around from the beginning, it's kind of cool to use them as a way to shed more light, kind of like exposition onto Liu Kang, and it kind of will help us fill in the gaps of what they know, like what happened between the games. I think that would be a cool idea. Do you actually expect me to speak to you mortals in a video? I mean, only if you want to make an interesting video. If you don't want to make an interesting video, then don't. Lucas says, I couldn't survive without YouTube Premium. I live on YouTube. Ads would destroy me. Yeah, you guys, don't judge me, but I really do need to get YouTube Premium, which I think I will be. Like I said, I do watch enough YouTube to warrant it, so yeah, I gotta get on that.
Tobias didn't get into the specifics as to which original characters would have been there to teach Liu Kang's son about his father, and once again, Tobias would have introduced the next generation of fighters that included children of the original characters. The specifics are unknown about that as well, but he did say that none of the kids that we have now, like Cassie Cage, Jackie Briggs, and Takeda, was not what he had in mind. As for the two poster boys such as Scorpion and Sub-Zero, he of course included them in the story as well, and suggested that Sub-Zero had a major role in the story, but didn't get into the specifics of that, and that Scorpion would have been his undead self being controlled by other forces, which assumingly is the Netherrealm. There was of course going to be a main villain to the story, which he didn't mention in the podcast, but if you're a lore fanatic like me, it's very safe to assume it was going to be Reiko. It was very clear in Reiko's MK4 ending that Tobias was setting him up to be the next villain, and
Okay, so what do we think about this? Reiko being the next major villain. So it would not have been the Deadly Alliance, which, excuse me, which, say what you want about them in particular. I personally, I like the Deadly Alliance, and I just think that the title, the name Deadly Alliance, is such a fantastic name for for a villainous team. But how do you feel about I do like the idea of seeing a major villain before they become a major threat. Like you see him kind of as like a jabroni in MK4, but then he steps into the role as main antagonist in MK5. I think that is a pretty cool idea. Fine, mortal, you should hear my voice. I mean, don't be forced. Don't feel like you gotta be forced. Shao Kahn, not an effective use of a leader's time, no. John Vogel was my favorite writer of the franchise. Oh, John Vogel, yeah. I dig what Vogel, his work. Reiko is a cheap version of me. He even uses my moves, a child playing dress up. He masquerades as a dragon, huh? Okay, there's one aspect of him that I think they're going to touch on here. Let me see if they actually do this or if I have to look for another video with John actually speaking. Hold on.
Tobias has actually said before that his intention with the Reiko character was that he actually is Shao Kahn reincarnated, and his ending clearly shows that. So the story assumingly would have come down to the son of Liu Kang versus Reiko, who actually is Shao Kahn.
Okay, that's what I wanted to touch on. So the fact is, Reiko is not... I mean, Reiko is Reiko, but he's actually a reincarnation of Shao Kahn, was the original idea, which is why he's obsessed with the helmet and obsessed with all things Shao Kahn, because it's like Shao trying to become himself again, I guess. It's kind of like, I don't know if you guys have ever watched Avatar, but it would be similar to that. Indeed, ads don't serve me. Corey says, oh no, am I late? No, you're not late, Corey. Reiko was originally supposed to be Shao Kahn himself reincarnated. Yes, support. 100%. I hate being late. You're not late. You're all good. Energy Lee. They need to add Darth Vader as the new villain. Or Ganon. Oh, I do love me some Ganondorf Dragmire. But I would not agree with that. No, not for Mortal Kombat. I love me some Ganondorf, but no. God, Reiko is my reincarnation. He doesn't have the muscle to be me. Right, this is him trying to regain his lost power. After Shao dies in MK3, he is reincarnated in Reiko, and then Reiko is trying to become what he used to be, I guess. Corey says, why didn't Reiko rip off his shirt in the ending if he's supposed to be a reincarnation of Shao Kahn? Shao Kahn hates shirts. You It's like you guys... Corey, have you never seen Avatar, The Last Airbender? Aang... So, like, Avatar Roku and Aang are two distinct, different people. Their personalities are different. But Aang is the reincarnation of Reiko. But that doesn't mean he's exactly like Reiko. Reiko, not Reiko. Roku. That doesn't mean he's exactly like Roku. Same thing here. Reiko is his own character, but he is the reincarnation of Shao Kahn. But that doesn't mean they're exactly alike. When I first started my channel, I had 19 subscribers without even posting videos yet. Wow, I had never had anything like that happen to me. Don't know how, to be honest, but when I first posted MK vids, I got up to 30, and for like 2 years it took me long to get 72 likes. It's just you gotta feed the beast stuff that it wants. And maybe more consistent. Like I said, you might want to do some smaller videos in between your longer ones, just so that there's more reason for people to come back to your channel. I don't hate shirts, Mortal, but why would I need to wear shirts? How would I show off my muscles? And now I'm almost at 379. Congratulations, support. Yeah, you just gotta keep it going. And like I said, you just gotta experiment on stuff. Maybe just the videos of characters aren't gonna cut it. Like maybe you have to try and do something new, evolve your videos. Like I said, people love opinions, whether it's an opinion they hate or an opinion they agree with. People like hearing other people's opinions. So that might be something that you want to go down. I was actually thinking of doing maybe like fan stories, and then just kind of doing a screenplay, and then just reading the screenplay in a video. I don't know how well that would do, but it's just ideas that I'm thinking of. So you may want to just give it some thought of what else you can do. Reiko's a poor replacement. Energy Lee. I just hear listening. I know nothing about Mortal Kombat lore. I'm playing Monster Hunter in the background. Is MK1 good? Thoughts about buying it? Oh, so you're not really a Mortal Kombat fan. I see. I mean, I like Mortal Kombat 1. A lot of people don't. I don't think that would be the one to get into. I would either wait for the next one. I think, personally, I feel like Mortal Kombat X is what represents MK's gameplay the best. Even though MK1 is a fun game, and they just came out with the definitive edition, so if you just want to get everything in one package, that's actually not a bad way to start. MK1, the definitive edition, yeah. Should I just keep the polls going? Yes, 100%. They seem to show up more for those. Yeah, I would absolutely keep the polls going. I would put a link to your videos in the comments of the poll, and then like pin that comment, have it be related to the poll. And like I said, if the videos that you're making is not something that a lot of people are looking for, then you're gonna have to try to change things up. I'd only get it if I play you in it. I see. I mean, I do need to play some more MK, to be fair. I have no interest in the next NetherRealm Studios game. You've made that clear, Corey. Mortal Kombat 12 is okay. Much better than MK11. Yes, what Shao Kahn is calling MK12, which is MK1, is much better than MK11. All right.
Very original and progressive, yet still keeping the past very alive in this story. Further details like what was the name of Liu Kang's son, did Kitana die as well, what was the role of Sub-Zero, who were the next gen fighters, why did Liu Kang die, and so on and so forth, were not elaborated on. You can tell that Tobias didn't want to reveal too much about his story by the nature of his voice in the podcast, but even then, we still know a lot about what Mortal Kombat 5 would have been.
So that's basically it. That was his idea. It would be the son of Liu Kang going against Reiko as Shao Kahn, Shao Kahn's reincarnation, which I think is an interesting way to go. I mean, ultimately, I like the way the Mortal Kombat story kind of shaped with the Deadly Alliance and then going into Deception with Onaga and all that stuff. But this is an interesting concept that I kind of would have liked to see play out as well. Support says, I can't pin comments right now due to YouTube new rules from last year or 2 years. What? How do you figure? I can pin comments. I have to get more. Oh, I see. I have to get more subs and views to be eligible to pin comments again. But I could at any time. Okay. Well, then you could just put the link in the comments. You don't have to pin the comment. Liu Kang loves being shirtless. Too funny, Corey. Shao Kahn. MK1 came out in 1992. MK12 doesn't earn the name. Sir, the game that came out in 1992 was not called Mortal Kombat 1. It was called Mortal Kombat. So, no, that you're wrong. Corey says Cetrion is an elder or yes, I guess so. Shinnok is a yes, yes indeed. I killed Onaga. Sure you did. Okay, Shokan, do you have a low opinion of Shinnok? Support says I low-key like Reiko being Shao Kahn reborn versus being an obsessed fanboy. 100%. I feel like that backstory is better than the story that they went with, which is him just being a super fan of Shao Kahn. Yeah, which is kind of lame. Shinnok was a schemer, but I am better. Shinnok can't defeat me in battle. Maybe. Okay, so it's after 7 o'clock my time. I want to hang on here. I want to do a watch party of Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm. So to do that, I'm going to create the room. I'm going to drop the link in the chat, and then whoever wants to watch Defenders of the Realm. Now, Defenders of the Realm is the first. Well, it's the only cartoon series for Mortal Kombat. So if you want to see what the cartoon series, it's corny. Let me just let you guys know it's cheesy. It is corny, but you know what? It's kind of I kind of dig it. So it's about 20 minutes, and I'm gonna drop the link, and then we can all check it out. Whoever wants to watch it. Hold on. Reiko was badass in the MKX comics. Oh, he was a problem in the MKX comics, Lucas. Until he was not. Havoc really manipulated him. Corey, Liu Kang's animality went from being a worm to a big bird. Oh, okay. The elder gods, more like elder worms. Combat time, exactly. Support. They tried so hard to get that phrase over, for people to really latch onto that phrase, and it's corny every time Sonya says it. Toothless worms. Sonya Blade was so enjoyable in the Defenders of the Realm cartoon. I find her abrasive and annoying, actually, but and he didn't wear my helmet, thankfully. Support says, I have other videos besides MK I've made, like Tekken. My most viewed Tekken is the Anna Williams. Okay. All right. So let me get this ready here, and then I'm going to drop the link, and then we will watch a episode of Defenders of the Realm, and then I'm going to call it a night, you guys. All right, 1 second here. Okay, there we go. Just do. Wait, what is this? Support says just do MK more, because those were first, and I've done videos on Tenku characters. Defenders of the Realm, bad, one flaw, no Melina. Oh, actually, no, Melina does not show up in Defenders of the Realm. You're right, and I think Kitana never wears her mask. Interesting, Corey. I love how Sonya acted in the cartoon. Combat time. Sonya's corny, and she is what is mortals call it all right, a Karen. I don't know about all that. Oh my gosh, a Karen. Wow. Wow. Okay. guys. So I'm going to put the link in the chat. Anybody who wants to join, hold on. Here we go. Anybody who wants to join, just click the link. You don't have to set up a camera. You don't have to talk if you don't want to. Here we go. All right, here we go. Here we go. Sonya acting impulsive is cute until Annihilation ruined it. Defenders of the Realm was originally the true sequel to the 95 movie. Yeah, kind of. I mean, there was no Johnny Cage in the cartoon either. So that's one discrepancy. And they're in the cartoon, they're kind of more like G.I. Joe than they are Mortal Kombat, which is a strange choice. Energy Lee says Mortal Kombat Karen is hilarious. Who's your true daughter? I'll come watch this corny cartoon. Okay, well, click the link. You can come watch the corny cartoon. It's going to be 20 minutes, and then we're going to call it a night, you guys. Melina is my true daughter. Kitana is adopted. Shao Kahn, do you think Kitana is a worm? What? I concur, Shao. Oh shoot, we got people in the chat. Okay, so I'm gonna to be able to speak in there, I'm gonna have to end the stream. So we're gonna play. I'm gonna end the stream, and then we're gonna start the episode in the chat. So everyone who wants to enter and watch the cartoon, make sure that you click that link. One more thing about Shao is he loves Melina. Indeed he does. Nightwolf was cute in Defenders of the Realm. It's a weird way to describe him. Just spell your daughter's name correctly. All right, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and end this stream. Then we're going to start that episode. Going through the portal. See you on the other side. Indeed, Lucas. All right. Well, like I always say, time is our most valuable asset. So thank you for spending some of your time with me here tonight. If you don't come over to watch the episode, no big deal. I'm probably going to stream either tomorrow or Friday. Will be the next time I stream. But again, thank you so much. And until next time, don't get beat up out there. Peace. Corey, you don't have to set up a mic or camera. Like I said, you can just go in it without a mic or a camera, and that's fine.